If you can but hear the cosmic sound and feel its presence in you, you cannot help but love God because it gives you such assurance and peace and bliss. It's a wonderful sound. So remember, that's our natural makeup, to be spontaneously happy because we come right from God. We are Him, so to speak. His great consciousness is in us. You take little children, how joyful they are. They jump and run and do this and that, filled with joy, and sometimes cause trouble, but they're joyful. Why? Because they've just come over from being with God. They've just come over from being in the bliss of the ocean of God's presence, whether they knew it or not. And when they're here, and they're young, they're joyful and happy. Later on, they get bogged down with all sorts of desires and marriage and all sorts of things. They forget that. But naturally, spontaneously, we are peaceful and blissful because that's the nature of our soul. Our Master was that way. He was very, very happy. He could be stern, all right, but usually he was joyful and spontaneously happy, and you felt that because it flowed through him. The presence of God flowed through him. His own Master said, Sri Yukteswarji said, as you remember, he said, this life is not a funeral procession. Let us be happy, but let us not forget God in so doing. And if we do not forget God, we will naturally be happy because God is bliss. God is bliss. And so do away with desires. Do away with desires which leave us nothing except give us nothing but leave us high and dry, stranded, because they cannot fulfill that which is right within yourself. Do away with those desires, and the second thing is know your inner resources, which is the presence of God right within you. And if you have that, you will have no trouble with the question of happiness. I don't care how bad your body is, how diseased it is, how unsatisfactory your situation in life is. If you have God, you won't care, because God is supreme, and His bliss is what we are and what we must once more recapture, our oneness with God. Lord Shankara said these beautiful words, ultra-sensual bliss is extremely easy of attainment. Imagine it. This peace of the soul, cosmic peace, true happiness, he says, is extremely easy of attainment and is thus far superior to sense delights which always end in disgust. Cannot help but end that way because the nature of duality is pain and pleasure. Never a constant happiness or bliss. You cannot find it there, but only when you turn inward toward God. And then you will recapture that which is your natural birthright, peace and bliss of God. If you live simply, you'll have time for that. And having that, you will have everything you need. All fulfillment, peace, bliss, all content. Our Master has this to say about happiness through simplicity. You must learn to know what is necessary for your life, and not to seek so many extra things. He says, I always have faith that whatever my needs are, God will take care of them. And I have been very careful to discriminate between needs and unnecessary necessities. And now at this time of year when we are honoring the great Larry Marshall, let us close this morning by reading a few of the great Larry Marshall's words from the Master's autobiography of a yogi. Larry Marshall says, remember that you belong to no one and that no one belongs to you. Reflect that someday you will suddenly have to leave everything in this world So make the acquaintance of God now. The great Guru told his disciples, prepare yourself for the coming astral journey of death by riding daily in a balloon of divine perception. Through delusion you are perceiving yourself as a bundle of flesh and bone, which at best is a nest of troubles. Meditate unceasingly that you quickly behold yourself as the infinite essence, free from every form of misery. Cease being a prisoner of the body, using the secret key of Kriya Yoga. Learn to escape into spirit. And so happiness comes through living simply that we have time to know God within us, which is our greatest inner resource. Know Him by following the techniques of one who knew God, our beloved Master. Having Him, you will have all happiness and all fulfillment.
In order to profit from these practical teachings in a meaningful way, which will have a definite and tangible impact in your life, we suggest that you subscribe to the Self-Realization Fellowship's home study course on the science of yoga. Please visit the SRF on the web at yogananda-srf.org or call the SRF's Mother Center in Los Angeles, California at 323-225-2471.